Hello, guys. Welcome back to Trekyards. He is Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley.
I am. And we got a new ship, kind of. Well, yeah, we did.
Two.
Absolutely.
Two new ships. Well, no, you mean we got two new ancient ships. Ah.
Yes. But a mathematically perfect redemption gave us some interesting designs, which we're going to talk about today.
So the first shot we have is the Precursor. This race does know about space travel. They were once a race of spacefarers, and they actively said, you know what? That whole thing about the space travel, yeah, our planet's nicer. So they rejected it all, went back to their home, and lived in peace and harmony with nature. That sounds familiar to another movie that we've all seen.
Yeah, the Aurelius planets. And the Areore, I guess they're called. The Areore.
Which I guess is the star, is the planet in the system that the Lower Decks battle happens at the end of season 2, or I guess season 1, whichever season, because Pinhamper warps for mere seconds at almost no warp, so it'd have to be that planet in that system. So, little do we know, when the Packlands attacked, the Titan zoomed in, the ship was right there, not watching.
Yes. It was kind of cool getting that twist of they were a warp civilization, and seeing the abandoned hangar with the ships there. And
yeah, that is the next shot.
Big, large warship with the smaller ships. It was great, actually.
And this gave me huge Vaudois vibes, because a cave with giant ancient fighters, Yadoy. Although I will say that I didn't clock the big ship, because it just looked like a part of a base. So I saw the small ones, but the big one was a reveal to me, because it's dark for like 5 seconds. You wouldn't necessarily see it. And it's kind of locked in. But yeah, lots of ships, actually. They did not destroy their tech, which is kind of rare for this sort of storyline. They have it. They're obviously all functioning, very powerful. I mean, that's a gold mine of future stories right there. And it was a good reveal. Very good reveal. So here is the fighter version. We see it get pulled out of the ground, fall to the ground again, and then fly around. You've got the top left is the top right is the bottom, and then the front, of course. So thoughts, Stuart? Thoughts?
I really like this design, actually. It's so simplistic, but so awesome looking. It does invoke vibes of something else I've seen, which we'll talk about at some point. But I like it. It's a very effective, simple design, and I gotta say, the battle scenes were quite impressive with the weapons fire. I love that phaser that they had, the shot phaser. But I was really impressed. I really liked the design. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably my favourite original design they've done of non-Federation origin. Normally they're kind of, that's alright. These, I think, have an actual character to them. Not just in the simplicity yet complexity. By that I mean there's not that many shapes, but they give you a sense of something else going on. But yeah, the way they were formed in the episode, very, very powerful, very, very fast, very, very maneuverable. While the not Martok character wouldn't have known what it was capable of. I guess they could have scanned it, I suppose, in the middle when they were tractoring it. But you know what I mean? They, in theory, wouldn't know what it's capable of. Was able to basically rip apart the Cerritos pretty effortlessly, although they do make him imply that the weapons can go through shields, which is, wow. This thing's pretty powerful, and it felt dangerous. But it's not in that overly aggressive, sleek way. The fact that it's this beautiful curve kind of reminds me of like the Moon Knight, like attack, slicey thing he has. It's kind of it's more elegant than sleek, sharp sleek. So I really like the balance here.
Well, actually, the top view, I was a big fan of Battle of the Planets, or G-Force, back in the day. And the leader, Mark, he had this boomerang thing that when the wings opened up, that's exactly what it looked like, just with a beak on the front instead of 2 prongs. And he'd throw it, and it has that exact look to it. It's maybe another reason I really like it, because I was big into that show. But it's just so simple. They didn't go over the top with Greebalese or making it like too complicated. It's just such a simple, nice design. Speaks to the advancement of the race, and the fact that one line of it's got weapon systems like nothing we've ever seen before that was added in was great to see how it took out the Cerritos.
It doesn't need to be more powerful, just be different. It was able to counteract whatever our good guys have. It's funny that I'm looking at this, and it's amazing how low detail, like physical 3D model and texture, they can get away with. I mean, you can see on the right, you can almost count the textures Like, you can see them in Photoshop right now. The little dirt maps have been, like, it's so simple. They go with almost murder when it comes to like low detail models, but it looks great in context. I'd love to see the scene files, because it's just like, these are so simple, they work so well. Well, I'm kind of surprised that each of these shots reflects a different vibe. The first one was crashed. It gives you a sense of these big glowing powerful elements. They're entirely absent from the bottom, which makes it look very flat, and from the front they don't stand out particularly well against the whatever. I don't know, what do you think? Should they be more vibrant? Should they be both sides? Would that add, diminish? What do you think?
No, I think both sides would make it more confusing, because you wouldn't know which side of the ship you're looking at. But I do like the detail on the top. So I think it stands out just enough. And it's, again, they're keeping it simple. If they went with the same thing on the bottom with a really bright glow, it would just kind of overcomplicate it.
Make it more of a Tron ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in fairness, you might be right. That top left, it's being hit by natural sunlight. Whereas the bottom, it looks like paint versus neon glow. So I think it's more just the symbols of, like a war paint of a bird of prey versus. So yeah, I think you've got me. You got me sold on that. The next shot though is the reveal of the giant ship as it comes out and says hello there.
This thing was also super impressive. Again, same design, same aesthetic. It's just a bigger version and more detailed. You can see some windows, rows of windows there, and kind of that ribbed look along the wing. I thought the small ship was impressive. Then I saw the large ship, and I'm like, ooh. And so that's what I mean. The battle in this episode was really great. I love seeing this.
Yeah, it felt old school Trek for sure. And this one certainly came up, and it has a weight that obviously it needs to have, but it does come across. And it is obviously, you know, it's the same fleet, but really it does feel so different. So I congratulate them on that. And I was left watching the entire episode thinking, I recognise something about this. Distinctly, something is gnawing at my Trek brain ship logic, because we kind of know a lot of ships. And then it took until I'd finished this slide and I'd stared at it and I'm like, is that are these people, we have some sort of great detailed lore about how the sonar came in and stole tech from these people? Because hey now, come back on Sunday for a direct comparison, because hey now, are you a rock star? Are you a sonar? Go shoot? I don't know. But it's once you remember that's it, it's really, really, like, I mean, you can tell what you think about now, but like, it really comes across. Like, what do you think once I said sonar?
Yeah, well, I noticed that right away too. Like, I'm like, that looks familiar, and I thought for a second, and while the battle was going on, I'm like, those look like sonar ships. So yeah, tune in tomorrow for our episode on the comparison with the sonar ships and see how close they are.
I feel this has got to be some sort of epic long-term plan or cleverness. This is vibing well to me. But yeah, I mean, good design. The next shot, the front view, and this is great because it entirely changes the context, but you get the scale. I mean, yes, there's obviously distance of camera, and they've zoomed in with like a 200mm lens, but you really understand what's going on here with the shot. It's very well done,
and it's very, it kind of invokes the feeling of like a Dideridex or even a scimitar, just with the way the front of that ship looks and the size, especially where it's shooting from. Very Dideridex like.
That's absolutely true. But I mean, it's not going to be literally this big, but this shot sells so well what they're doing, and you can vibe instantly. The small and the big are actually very different. They feel so similar, but this, I mean, I don't see almost any similarities in this direct view besides the general shape, and that's great. That's a successful art design to have the same yet entirely different designs. So well done them. And also little kudos as well for the wonderful use of damage. Orange highlights. That's an old trick in DS9. They just had a procedural red and orange flaring light, and that was the look, we're burning. They did it this episode. I've never seen it before for them. Worked super well, and it really adds a lot of depth to this oh no, we're screwed vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Next picture, though, is some shots of the interior design, the configuration of the command areas, as well as the instrumentation and computer displays.
Now, of course, to note, the top left is the smaller ship, the bottom is the bigger ship. However, in the episode, I looked carefully, and they both look about the same reused set. So I put them into one design, even though obviously one's a huge ship, one's a small ship. But we do get both views. So what do you think?
Well, honestly, the upper left one with the tri-seating. It looks like an early or original Battlestar Galactica Cylon configuration.
I mean, the wings are. I mean, that new Cylon. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. But I like that the commander, the weapons officer, and the pilot. You would think good configuration, very sleek, very streamlined way to set up a ship. The stand-up console on the bigger ship is also interesting. I'd like to see kind of maybe if there's more instrumentation panels and stuff behind them, but it's simple and effective, and it goes right back to how the ship looks from the outside. So,
for me, it gives off massive animated series vibes.
Oh yeah,
like convert that top view into the animated series style of creatures. That's right out of.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? It's the bright color palette. It's the organic. It's the hovering stuff that you wouldn't be able to do normally. I think it taps in the bottom view, so it looks like the avians from the animated series. Super familiar feeling, but not. And I mean, how do you represent a bird people's ancient ancestors' spacefaring warship design? Well, somehow it works.
Well, did you notice that the displays are the shape of eggs? So I mean, that's a nice little subtle touch.
I didn't. I like it. That's great. I did notice, of course, they got floating holograms, which is another advancement beyond where we tend to be. Although, you could have gone gimmicky, kind of like the Xindi Aquatic, and had everything be off the ground, everything's floating because they can fly. But if you're flying race, do you want to fly every day? No, you want to not fly. So it actually makes more sense to have things that don't involve flying. But I think it works super well, and I like it actually a lot. It's obviously simple but effective. Just like, go back to the three shot of the ship. That's a good summary. And I think, for lower decks ships, they've had a few over the years. Not many have really hit in the fullest of way. I think this absolutely hits. So good job, you guys.
All right, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss our video tomorrow where we compare this with the Sona ships and see how close they really are. You'll want to check that out. Also, comment down below, like this video, and do all the things you need to do, like click that notification bell icon so you don't miss any content or any lives that we do. We love when we do lives and you guys join us to help us with our conversation.
We do many lives, Stuart. We do all the topics under the sun, both the specific episode ones and then grander things like top 10s or whatnot. Support if you can. Anyway, there are links down below in the description of ways you can, but really those super chats, really those Patreons, really those join the channels helps a lot. But just come and see us again from the Trekyards. We rely on your viewership and your support. Helps out just by coming back, checking out, and saying hi.
That's right. So until tomorrow, because you will check out tomorrow's video, I am Captain Foley.
I'm Conor Kongs. Bye, guys.
I'll see you guys later.